Treachery in Beatdown City puts an RPG twist on the classic side-scrolling beat-em-up genre. Alternate reality, Blake Orama has been kidnapped by ninja terrorists. Brad and Bruce are tasked with taking the law into their own hands and rescuing the president. And dialogue are ridiculous. The situations and characters are quirky and at times over the top. Humor and the absurdity of the story will not be for everybody. Some of the ridiculousness of early imported games from Japan with a splash of more modern commentary. Style to be abrasive in the beginning, I did find myself slowly warming up to the silliness as I continued playing the game. Beatdown City takes the standard side-scrolling beat-em-up and adds an RPG-style combo system. Travel across a mostly linear overworld path to fight enemies and find items in dumpsters. Two fighting styles, grappling and striking. Characters to cycle between, a tough grappling specialist, a striking glass cannon, and a rounded character. Between the striking and grappling could use a little work. Strikes will be the bread and butter for most of the game, as grappling success is based on how much health an enemy has. You have the potential to do an incredible amount of damage, often feels more like an afterthought than a main focus. The mechanics are reminiscent of action point-based JRPG systems. The character has two resources needed for an action. These are generated over time and through chaining special attacks together. Each special attack a certain FP cost based on its power. Points are generated over time. Is used for each special attack, counter, quick attack use. The gameplay's more thoughtful pace that outright discourages button mashing. Beatdown City offers a decently large cast of enemies to fight. Each one falls under an archetype like support or sneaky. The type has its own weaknesses, abilities, and attack patterns. Enemies are interesting, but the runner archetype seems completely pointless. This at least drops some health as a reward, seems to do nothing but run around the screen aimlessly. Enemy types combined with the 3-player characters offer much needed variation to the gameplay overall. The game does a poor job conveying each enemy's archetype beyond the initial tutorial. Prefer to see a clear icon by the enemy's name instead of memorizing each type through practice. The experience is a bit of a mixed bag. The developers are extremely dedicated to the old school experience to the game's detriment. Each character quickly develops a large repertoire of attacks on the combo menus that are designed to have the traditional 3 rows per screen. Around becomes unwieldy, and I often found the lazy part of me favoring certain attacks simply because they were on one of the first 6 rows. Characters to avoid critical attacks to the back could be difficult when enemies were right on top of my character. A bit of experimentation to figure out the exact moment I needed to turn around as the enemy passed through the player character. With the pixel-perfect positioning, I would have preferred to see a slightly more forgiving setup. Supports both controllers and mouse and keyboard setups. To my endless annoyance, there is no way to change the keyboard binding. The game is enjoyable with either input method. I did prefer the thumbstick in combat and a D-pad while moving around in the open world. In Beatdown City's art style is inspired by old 8-bit titles. The artists do an incredible job making the graphics feel right at home, school arcade games, down to small details like the PSAs used for the loading screens. Design is much like the game's story, over the top and often ridiculous. The experience is enjoyable. The sound effects are period appropriate. The track is packed with excellent chiptunes. It does need a few more tracks, as the same couple of combat songs did get a bit stale over time. Beatdown City struggles with a few quality of life issues and a story that'll be hit or miss. On the other hand, the game offers an interesting take on the classic side-scrolling beat-em-up that encourages a more thoughtful approach and faces. Retro-inspired games and new twists on old genres, a lot to like here. I'm awarding the game 7 capsules out of 10. Read this review, be sure to check out the link in the description or in the video's card. I hope to see you soon. This is Jamie from Capsule Computers signing off. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and subscribe to Capsule Computers for more awesome videos. For more videos to watch, check out our review of Fort Triumph here on the left. For more modern take on a classic genre, check out our review of Earth Defense Force Iron Rain here on the right.